Let's look at Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Practice Classifying Angles. We need to label each angle as acute, right, or obtuse. So remember that an acute is anything that's less than 90 degrees, and a right angle is 90 degrees, and an obtuse angle is going to be more than 90 degrees. So keep that in mind as you are working through these. Let's go ahead and look at number 1. As you're looking at number 1, they're looking at letter A. Letter A is going to be the angle that you're looking at. So we're looking at this much right here. And you can clearly see that it is less than 90 degrees. So it's an acute angle. Let's look at number 2, and they're looking at letter B. They're looking at this angle right here, and you can look there, and whether you turn it or don't turn the paper, you can see that this is going to be an acute angle. Let's look at letter C. If you turn your paper towards the side, you can see that letter C is exactly 90 degrees, which means it's a right angle. Let's look at number 4, and they did it for you, but go ahead and look. They're looking at this angle right here. And looking at that, you can tell that letter D, or angle D, is obtuse. Let's look at number 5. The shape is a square, and we know that squares have 4 right angles, so letter E is going to be a right angle. Let's look at the triangle. Now, letter F is a little bit different. They want to know this angle right here. You can tell by looking at it that it's more than 90 degrees, which means it's obtuse. Letter 7, looking at this, if you turn your paper, you'll be able to see that it is a right angle. It's exactly 90 degrees. Letter H is going to be less than 90 degrees. They're looking at this angle right here, and I know that less is acute. And letter I, they're looking at this angle. If you turn your paper, you can clearly see that letter I is going to be an obtuse. Let's go ahead and look at the test prep. Jamie, Frank, and Andrea each measured the length of the same classroom using their own feet as the unit of measurement. Jamie reported a length that measured 67 of her feet. Frank reported a length that measured 81 of his feet. And Andrea reported a length that measured 92 of her feet. Explain how you know which student has the smallest feet. So let's look at those numbers. Jamie had 67, Frank had 81, and Andrea had 92. So looking at that, I can decide which one had the smallest and which one had the biggest. Logically, if you have bigger feet, you're not going to need as many to get from one side of the room to the other. If you have smaller feet, you're going to need more in order to get to one side of the room to another. So looking at this logically, the lower number is going to mean that they have big feet, and the higher number is going to mean that they have small feet. So I know that Andrea had the smallest feet because she had 92. You need to explain that you know that the more feet you have, the smaller the foot measurement is. The less feet you have to measure it, the larger the foot measurement is.